back to the upside. But the big question is this just a dead cat bounce, and will we move afterwards even lower, or was that just a shallow drop and we get continuation back to the upside? This is what I'm going to talk about today. Don't miss out on that. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Wednesday. Almost said Thursday. Don't ask me why I was thinking it's Thursday. We jump directly into today's stream here, not wasting any time. So here the DXY did touch today, 99 points, absolutely fine. Remember what I said, we could come up here, touch this, but as long as we are not breaking this 99 points level, we should be fine and see further downwards movement from this specific level. Now, what is one of the reasons why we are seeing here the DXY a little bit go up right now? So that has something to do with the Federal Reserve. We have some dates coming up here with some important speeches, even today, but it's still too early for that. Did not happen yet. So here today we have Governor Michael S. Barr speaking about community banking. Then you have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. Selective interest rates, and then you have again the governor speaking later, and tomorrow you have Jerome Powell actually speaking, and that is really important. So we have to watch what's happening there when Jerome is speaking, because he could give us an outlook what he might do with the interest rates here in the short term. So he might say something that the market will interpret in a certain way, and then of course move markets once again, because that's what's happening every time he's opening his mouth. Now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, why I'm really cautious here right now is because on a daily chart, we have still a bearish divergence that has not fully played out yet. So here you can clearly see we have here this upward sloping resistance line that is connecting all the recent highs that we have, but the RSI did not make yet a new high, even though we put in a new all-time high in the price. So, and that is a clear bearish divergence on a daily chart, and a bearish divergence on a daily chart is something that you have to take serious here, because once we are breaking here below $120,000, the bearish divergence is about to play out. The only way that this can be prevented is either by making a new high here in price, a significant new high here in price, something around like $129,000, $130,000, or a new high on the RSI breaking above that trend line. Only then, in either of these two cases, the bearish divergence would be invalidated. And this has to happen in the next 7 to 9 days, in my opinion. If it's not happening in that time frame, we might be here a little bit in trouble. So but until then, you can of course trade in between, you know, so just be aware of that there is a bearish divergence on the daily chart that you need to take serious, and that you have to trade accordingly, of course with a stop loss. Now, here on the Bollinger Bands, just want to give you a quick reminder that I mentioned to you guys, when we are coming here close to the upper band and prices going out of that upper band, we always get a harsh reaction back into the Bollinger Band. You see this over here, also over here. That was a crazy move. Over here, always with bearish engulfings. You know, every single time we get a bearish engulfing when we are touching the upper band or going out of the upper band of the Bollinger Band and coming back in. So and here, that what's happening right now, unless the bearish divergence is invalidated, for now we are just consolidating, and that's absolutely fine on a daily time frame. After we put in here multiple new all-time highs, they will consolidate to gain momentum for the next move to the upside to print a new all-time high. On here, this daily chart, I just want to show you quickly the levels that I'm watching if we would actually see the bearish divergence playing out. So, and it is quite obvious that this would be the 1.618, the 1.5 level here, 116,700 approximately to $118,000, which is also coinciding with the VPVR here, with the point of control on the VPVR, with the longest bar here at around $118,000. And at the same time, also the EMA ribbon the EMA ribbon is also lining up here right now on the top side with $118,000. So, and you see that is a major level of confluence that could attract price to come down here and hold as support and bounce then back to the upside. The only way that this is not happening is if Bitcoin starts breaking here again above $124,000, closes the daily candle above that, and keeps going higher. Now on the W pattern, and that we have put in here, that W pattern is completed. We have hit the technical target. We went here to the 1.382 level to $126,328. But also here, the previous all-time high is still acting as resistance over here. And that's why I just said we need to get over $124,000 and close the daily candle there to keep pushing higher. Only then this is going to happen. Everything else is just consolidating below that resistance level for that next leg into higher levels. On the 12-hourly chart, we came really close to touch the EMA ribbon here on the upper band, which is usually a really bullish sign if we come down and do that and get a straight bounce from that. But I also take a bounce that was pretty close to it and did not touch it. That also happens from time to time, that you get something like this and then the price just keeps going higher from there. But usually the price keeps tagging along a little bit closer to the EMA ribbon. So as the EMA ribbon is expanding further to the upside, price is not moving that far away anymore for a certain period of time until you get a breakdown below that or another impulse move into higher levels. And here, in that case, I would believe at some point we're going to get another impulse move into higher levels. So here you can also see that the 12-hourly time frame has nicely reset already on the RSI. That's why we're getting here this nice push after we got that bearish engulfing, and because we have here an uptick. The MACD is about to bounce off that signal line with the trend line, and the stochastic RSI might turn around here a little bit in 7.5 minutes when we are closing this 12-hourly candle and most likely get the continuation candle to the upside. Now, something else that I wanted to show you guys. Remember that I showed you that Bitcoin and also other coins, they are moving in certain algorithmic sequences, you can say. And if you know how to spot these sequences, you know what Bitcoin is going to do before Bitcoin is actually doing it. But this is only working for a limited amount of time before too many people actually catch up to it. And then all these trading bots and the algorithms from the market makers and the venture capital funds, they are changing it again. And then you have to look again what they're actually doing and find a new pattern that they are trading. So right now, I want to show you one of the patterns, and I had mentioned that before. That pattern was Fridays, they start to move price down. Here, from Thursday into Friday, start moving price down. Over the weekend, send it only sideways. Then Sundays, send it up again. And Tuesdays, send it down again. So this pattern is rinse and repeating over and over again, at least since June. So I did not go further back than end of June, but at least since end of June, this is more or less rinse and repeating. And every single time on a Wednesday, now I have to see UTC time, so down here is UTC time. Oh yeah, you cannot see that. Wait, let me remove Bybit. So here, there, UTC time, almost 12 p.m. now on the UTC time. Between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Wednesday UTC time, you usually get an upwards move in Bitcoin. So, and I think today will be no difference. And that's why I'm leaning to the fact that the next 12-hourly candle could be another continuation candle. But I would also mention, only because that is a continuation candle, that doesn't mean that the candle cannot go up here a little bit and then pull back and stay green, and you have basically a candle with a wick like that, with a small candle body, and then tomorrow it actually goes down again. So just want to warn you about this. Don't get too cocky and pull the trigger now on all positions that you want to trade, because Bitcoin is potentially going up here. The probability is high based on that sequence that is over and over repeating for the last 3 months, that this is going to happen here in the next 3 hours again. That Bitcoin is going here a little bit higher. So the level that Bitcoin needs to break here on the 1 hourly chart is $123,000. And once we are breaking $123,000, you're gonna get here a nice continuation candle to the upside. Now on the trading side here, I see that we are a little bit overextended. Oh wow! I hope you don't hear that too much, but it starts raining like crazy outside. I hope that the microphone is not picking that up too much. Let me actually know in the chat if the microphone is picking that up. On the trading side, I have also posted that yesterday on Twitter. I gave you a sniper entry here on that move down. Look at this here. That was a sniper entry, guys. You cannot call that anything else than that. Sniper entry. If you would have caught it all the way down there, you would be nicely up here. Roughly 1.7% plus the leverage that you're using, of course. But I think the next 1 hourly candle that starts here in 3 minutes, based on the stochastic RSI and the RSI, will pull back a little bit. Because we are exactly at a resistance of $123,000. And doesn't look like right now that we're going to break that immediately. So we're most likely going to pull back here to 122 and then going to try again. And in that time, the stochastic will come down a little bit, turn around, and then you get that push here. But the MACD is here extremely bullish. And that's why you see other coins performing also quite well right now. But let me actually look here quick in the 50 minutes chart. Yeah, 50 minutes, 30 minutes. Looks like sideways down to me in the next couple minutes here. So let's go here to the 4 hourly chart. So also here, the trajectory that I mapped out yesterday played out perfectly. So that's why here that tick. So we're can tick that. I gave you here that zone and said $120,000, $120,500 to $118,000 500. That might be the range where we are going down to, but we could stop already at $120,500 bounce from there and then go later potentially lower if we are not completely turning around from here and breaking it through that supply zone, which is in alignment with the all-time high at $126,137 right now. So why am I also still cautious here? Because the reactor indicator has put in 2 dot plots, but on a blue-purple curve here. So now I want to show you what happens when we get a blue-purple curve and afterwards a green curve. Why I'm a little bit cautious here. So look here. This is not a good example. Let's go over here where I get a better example. This here might be a good example. So here. Same thing. Here, same 2 dot plots like over here. But, let me also put this back. But the difference is here. So here, local bottom goes up again, but then goes lower. And then we had these dot plots on a green reactor indicator, and that marked actually the local bottom from where we rallied back to the upside. So every time when I see 2 dot plots on a blue-purple reactor indicator, I'm cautious. So yes, it looks like that we are reversing here and go a little bit higher, but afterwards we are still coming lower to turn that reactor indicator into green, and only then when we get the 2 dot plots on the green reactor indicator, like down here, something like there, then we have hit the local bottom, and then we completely go back to the upside. Again, that does not mean that you cannot trade right now. You just need to be aware of these things and be careful. Be careful when we are approaching an all-time high. You know, take some money off the table when we are approaching that, especially if you open new trades right now. You know, I'm not saying you cannot trade right now and open a new trade at $123,000 and trade here into the last all-time high or even past that. I'm just telling you, be careful. Put stop losses on, you know, when you open trades like that, and put the stop loss here under the recent low at $120,550, just to make sure that if that price action is turning against you and is going down to make that local bottom, that you are protected and that you have then money on the side so that you can go back into the market and then take advantage of that whole move back to the upside. So if you want to follow a plan like that, guys, then sign up on Blowfin. You get $5,000 in welcome bonuses and deposit bonuses. There is a link in the description below, and also later in the pinned comment below after I finish the stream. There is a new trading challenge coming potentially next week, not this week, with Blowfin and a different exchange, both together. So make sure that you have an account, because only if you're on Blowfin or on that other exchange, you're going to get access to a Telegram group where I'm going to help you, again, personally, to turn $500 into $10,000. We do it again, guys. The last time I got obviously stopped, but we were close to $2,000 the last time. So we're going to do this again, and I'm going to help you to achieve that. So get a Blowfin account that you can actually join the Telegram channel. There is a description also in the description of the video with the steps that you need to follow, so just follow the steps that are in the description below, and don't forget to send the UID to me or my team on Telegram, so only if you do that, or fill out the Google form for that matter, so that we can add you to that private Telegram group. So now on the 4-hourly chart with the liquidation levels, also here I warned you about this, that Bitcoin is most likely coming down to the 50 moving average here, and potentially goes a little bit lower. Look here, we basically touched the 50 moving average, bounced straight from there back to the upside. Every time working like clockwork. Worst case that usually happens after a move like that is that we go slightly below that and then push back to the upside. We have taken out some over-leveraged liquidity on the way down. There's still some liquidity there that I believe will be taken out at some point. But again, I'm not seeing that we move lower than like $117,500, $118,000, something in that range here. So I'm going to leave also that over-leveraged long liquidity box as it is, because I still believe that here more longs going to pile in again into that zone, and then they're going to rinse and repeat that whole process. But we have, of course, here also no short liquidity building up above us. Don't want to neglect that, and put in a box here. Yeah, all the way up to $126,650. So let me do that quickly all the way up here. So this is short liquidity. So, and this is not, yeah. So my OCD kicks in. When I see this not aligned, I have to align that. Makes me otherwise crazy. So yeah, so over-leveraged liquidity. Yeah, basically your short liquidity is going up all the way. Let's see how high. Whoa. Yeah. Last level is $158,420. But that is a 2x short position currently. So then the liquidation heat map is also showing here high concentrated short liquidity, slightly above the all-time high. And here below us, we have also some high concentrated long liquidity at $120,500, which potentially is another sign that we might revisit this here in the near future. Again, be careful with like this bearish divergence on a daily chart. If you're just tuning in, just want to mention that again, go to the beginning of the stream, watch it again. There is a bearish divergence on the daily chart that could bring us all the way down here to at least $117,700. Yeah, that's the level. That's the lowest level that I see before we would then bounce back to the upside and put in that local bottom. So also here, massive alignment with that. So we're gonna get a short squeeze if we manage to break above $123,700 approximately. Then we get a short squeeze that could go really quickly back into all-time high level. But again, we're gonna most likely see that, if that is actually coming into fruition over the next 4 to 14 hours, something like that. That's what I'm looking at. So if you want to trade altcoins, guys, because we're going to talk now about some altcoins, sign up on Bybit. Do I have my Bybit card here? Oh, no, I actually gave it to my girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend is out with her friend, so I said, go, dinner is on me. But I get right now 10% cash back with my Bybit card, which is insane. I was yesterday shopping for like $1,000 for stuff that we needed here in the house. I got $100 back, guys, just because I have the Bybit card. So you should definitely go sign up on Bybit, get your Bybit card, get $30,000 in welcome bonuses, and don't forget that most of my altcoin trades are still happening here, at least the big ones, and that are also going to share here pretty soon again with you guys. These altcoin trades that so that I actually show you guys the altcoin trades that I do on Bybit. Now the total free market cap is holding above $1.14 trillion, which is really, really bullish for me. So we are also seeing here on the daily chart that we are potentially putting in a cup and handle pattern. So if we move here a little bit more to the downside, then this looks like a proper cup and handle pattern. We don't need to move a lot for that to the downside. So, but as long as we are above $1.14 trillion, you're going to get here a breakout this week, in my opinion. It could be also Sunday, you know, could be worst case Sunday. Maybe, yeah, worst case Monday, but I think it will happen before that already, to be honest, where we put in a new all-time high and will break $1.2 trillion here in total free market cap. Ethereum holding above 4,400, what is that, $51. So you can technically enter here a new position if you want to at the current levels, but have a tight stop loss. Put the stop loss below the current low of the daily candle from today. That's where I would put my stop loss. And then, because if that stop loss gets triggered, we will go here into the green box, and you want to re-enter that green box at a lower level and then trade this back to the upside. So, but if you are a little bit trigger happy, you don't want to miss out a move potentially running into $4,750, $4,800, $900, something like that, close to $5,000, you can enter right now. So why do I say that? Because we just put in here golden cross. We came back down to the 50 moving average. We are riding the 50 moving average. What we need now is a clear move away from that. So a small impulse move here above $4,560 and preferably a break of $4,600 shortly afterwards to have that confirmation, and then we should be off to the races into higher prices for Ethereum. Then Solana came back to our entry. I want you guys. I want you. You know, I told you, have your stop losses in place, take some profit at $231, so that you can now re-enter at this current level. So I hope a lot of you guys took some profit and got stopped out, because now you can just open a new trade. You know, you can open a new trade with more money and rinse and repeat this when we are running now to $248 and potentially even past that. Maybe even over $250. $252 is a big resistance level that we could run into. Yeah, so basically here, that higher high, taking out that higher high on the way back up. Because the indicators here on the 12-hourly chart, they are more or less ready to push back to the upside. So you have to be quick here, otherwise you're going to miss it. And also the 4-hourly chart. Yeah, 4-hourly chart is also, this is running back at least to $231. If you want to do a quick scalp and not risk that you see price getting rejected again and coming a little bit lower, take a scalp here. Take a scalp on Solana. Then the next coin is Zcash. So Zcash, strong reversal from this upward sloping trend line that I mentioned yesterday. So we came here all the way down perfectly to that trend line. So if you were not entering from there, I told you golden ratio, reclaim of golden ratio would be the level where I would be entering. If you entered, let's say in the middle of it, you would be still up 1.5% roughly. But here earlier, you could have been up 4.3% roughly. So if you're if you're looking for a trade to play that really safe here on Zcash, then you wait of a reclaim of $141 roughly, and then you trade this into $170. Because once we have that reclaim of $141, which is a strong resistance here, and also from the past, if I would go here into the daily time frame and I scroll here all the way over, see here, so there is confluence why that is such a strong resistance level. So, and that's why once we are reclaiming that, turning this into support, you're going to get another strong impulse move here in the direction of $170, and that will result into almost a 21% move to the upside. Now, Aptos is forming here a bull flag, a massive one. Look at this here. So once that is breaking out, that will go to $6.72. So even higher than what I target here of $6.33 roughly. So if you're not in an upwards position yet, just wait for that break. Wait for that break of this flag pattern here, currently at $5.25. That's what you need to look at. Now, yeah, I'm gonna go into ASTER right now. So also here, indicators, stochastic completely flatlining, MACD a little bit bearish, but RSI also going sideways. So that just needs a little push, a little push, and it will start flying again. Now ASTER, so ASTER is fighting with the downward sloping trend line here. I'm gonna go to a 1 hourly chart. So here is fighting with this downward sloping trend line. But once we are closing a 1 hourly candle above that level, we're gonna go straight to $2.10. And if we close above that, we're off to the races, finally into new all-time high. So that might be also happening rather sooner than later. Just the next 6 hours could be a little bit choppy because the stochastic is a little bit overextended. The RSI is slightly going up. MACD is not looking all too shabby. What is really looking good is 4 hourly. So 4 hourly here, MACD about to turn around. Stochastic gave a buy signal. RSI going slightly up, but we need that break and that close above that downward sloping trend line at around $2.05. So just a cent higher, half a cent higher actually. So and once that is happening, we're gonna fly here to $2.50, $3, and $3.50. These are at least my next targets. So I also gonna show you again how my ASTER position is looking right now on Blowfin. Again, there's a link in the description, not hiding that. $580 in a loss. So I'm basically, I'm 5x here. I'm a little bit less than 1% underwater, so which is not crazy, So that's why I'm holding this position, because I know once it breaks $2.05, because look at this here. This is the big resistance. This is the big resistance that it needs to break. Look at this. Once it breaks this, it will start flying. It will start flying. That's why I took that long from that level. I just need to wait. That is a waiting game for me here. Once that level is broken, convincingly broken, with like 1 or 2 daily candles, it will jump really quickly back to your $2.50, $3. Really, really quick. So the next one is SUI. SUI is here at the bottom at $3.44. You can technically long this from here. I'm not too keen to do that, because if we're losing that level, then we go here straight to like $3.30, maybe even $3.20. So that is right now quite a risk. So what is not so risky right now, I have to go to a different chart for that, would be, as an example, so don't ask me why QTIM is pumping like crazy today. So let me see, is QTIM from here? Okay, it's not too crazy. So let me go here to a different chart. So definitely hype is something that I would have on the map right now. So we are here in that trading range of $45.13 to $46.88. Would I long from here? I would maybe start building a position, but yeah, I would not go like with all the money that I would like to deploy on a high position right now into hype, So, but I would start laddering in 10%, 20%. That is what I would be looking at here. But you should also not ignore that we are printing here lower highs. Here, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So what you want to see here is best case scenario, break of $47, break of $50 to reclaim that high here, and then you have a reversal in play. That will run into a new all-time high. So, but you have to take that risk basically from $47 with a stop loss at $45. So then, let me see here in the chat what's going on here. Render. So render, let's see. Link is actually also doing quite well. AVAX is, let's quick have a look here at AVAX because it's at a discount. Yeah, also broke here to the downside. That is something that I would buy spot right now at $28.33. I think that will not go much lower than what it is right now. So, and even if it would go here to 27, I would just buy more. So for spot, this is a good place to buy here. Now, for long position, I would wait, reclaim $29. Now, link, really quick. Yeah, fighting with the horizontal level of $22.01. If it can close here the daily above $22, I would long that, because that will reverse really quickly to $24. The next one, so render. Let's see. Render. Reclaim $3.38. Yeah, $3.38 is what I would be looking at least. Let's see. Can I move this here? Yes. So $3.38 there. Basically where the last 4-hourly candle wicked up to and got rejected to confirm resistance there. So this is what you need to see flipped. Once I get a 4-hourly candle close above that, I would long that to the upside. So here you see that trade overall did not play out, but we got at least 6% out of that. So I'm gonna remove that. Oh, remove that. So I'm here now 30 minutes. I'm gonna do, yeah, we can do Cardano quick. I might do one other coin after that, but then I'm leaving again. Let's see, XPL. XPL is going to shit. So happy that I did not buy XPL. This is just going down. Oh, actually, I want to show you some other coins. I don't know how they are looking right now, you know, so, but they were up before, so there are some gambling coins, you know. I'm going to show you some gambling coins. I don't know how much I'm still up on this. Okay, not that bad. Okay, no, so yeah, I'm basically plus minus zero here overall on these two coins. So they are Chinese coins. So one is this one here. I have no idea for what that stands. I can drop the contract under the video if you want to trade this. I still believe that this could turn around here, you know, so this could still turn around. And the other one, I know that means freedom or something. Let me see here. So here, and this is flying, as you can see here, to the upside. So I can also share with you this one here. I entered this at 16.8 million market cap approximately. So this is now 50% up from where I entered this. But I think this can fly way higher, way higher than just 50%. Oh, wow. That was a nice pump candle right now. So, and these are meme coins on BNB, because BNB is right now the chain where you most of the time don't get rugged like on Solana and pump.fun. So, and that's why I'm trading some meme coins here on Solana. But I also want to mention here, I'm not going crazy. You know, I'm not putting the house on the line. I also posted that in the Telegram. Where I shared this trade, I'm not putting the house here, you know, on the line. You see, I'm 50% up on this right now, 51%. I'm in here with like $700. You know, that includes the profit. So I went in here with like $527, took some profit to get here into the other coin, and now I'm having $718 in that trade. So yeah, I'm not going crazy, you know, absolutely not going crazy on coins like that. So, and this is a small amount, you know. So if $500 is for you a lot, don't use $500. Use something that you can stomach to lose, you know. So if I lose here the $500 that I have put into this coin here, which is now already minus $300, I don't care, you know, because I'm basically break even because of that other coin here. So yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. So then let me go back Cardano, and then I will be leaving. So let me see here, Cardano. I'm also getting hungry. I want to eat something. So yeah. So here Cardano, still in this downward sloping channel. So you could if you wanted, but we need some more touch points here. Argue that this might turn out into a falling wedge. I would not enter this right now unless we are reclaiming 83 cents. You need 83 cents. There's a resistance here, there, roughly. So only if that is broken with a 4-hourly candle close above that, I would start getting a position. So or next level of support. That's the other level from where I would take a position here at 80 cents 80, 81 cents. Yeah, basically here at the bottom there. Yeah, 80 cents. 80 cents. So if we hit 80 cents, that's the other level from where I would take that position. Yeah, it's a BNB play again. That one that is now so much in the loss, I most likely not going to share that because so much down. So I can share both, you know, if you want to take that risk. I will keep that position. If it runs to zero, it runs to zero, you know, this one here. But I actually don't believe that this is running to zero. I think at some point, people are going to pick that up again, you know, so I'm gonna hold. If I hold to zero, I hold to zero. So if you want to both plays, I'm gonna put both plays actually in the description and in the pinned comment, and you can decide for yourself. You know. So and I also here give you a link to sign up here on that platform where you can trade immediately both coins. You know, you get here your own wallet. You just deposit then here your BNB. So you deposit, withdraw. And this is, for me, pretty safe because I'm not using MetaMask or like Phantom or something where I potentially can get drained, you know. So because this wallet, like on Bybit, I cannot get drained on that wallet, you know. So highly unlikely that I get drained on that specific wallet. So and yeah, for like place like that, I like that. And then I just withdraw the BNB to Bybit, Blowfin, wherever I wanna yeah, take that money back to. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here again, sticking around here 36 minutes. I'm gonna see you again tomorrow. So don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money